Up until now, the changes have been subtle. A returned person, a deleted catastrophe, a memory that doesn't match the record. Quiet corrections, clean edits. But what happens when the edits stop being clean? What happens when continuity strains? Tonight, we are not speaking about rollback. We are speaking about failure. Because something is slipping. You felt it, haven't you? A conversation that repeated word for word. A clock that skipped backward a second. A stranger who froze mid-step for half a breath too long. A moment that felt unrendered. Small glitches, dismissible, until they aren't. If the world has been maintained, then maintenance can degrade. If reality has been stabilized, then stabilization can falter. And if something has been correcting errors, what happens when the error rate exceeds capacity? Tonight, 6 accounts, not of quiet revision, but of visible malfunction. People who saw seams, heard loops, watched environments fail to load correctly, and the most dangerous pattern of all, moments where the system didn't correct fast enough. Before we begin, I want you to do something. Listen to the ambient noise around you. Air conditioning, traffic, distant movement. Now imagine it cutting out, not dramatically, not violently, just stopping for 2 seconds. Would you trust it to come back, or would you wonder if this time it won't? This is episode 13, and if the system is failing, you may start noticing it. Not in grand disasters, but in hesitation, in lag, in reality taking just slightly too long to respond. Stay attentive, because the cracks are not loud, they are quiet and widening.
My name is Halima Yusuf. The disaster never happened. That's what everyone says. There are no news archives, no emergency broadcasts, no satellite anomalies, no official record of the day the sky split open above Abuja. Except I remember it, and so does one other person. It happened on a Wednesday, 2:14 p.m. I remember the time because I was in a Bolt ride, stuck in traffic near the city center. The sky was clear, dry season haze, heat rising off the road. Then, a sound. Not thunder, not explosion, a tearing sound, like fabric being ripped across the entire atmosphere. Every driver stopped at once, not braking, stopped, engines still running. The sky above fractured, not metaphorically, visually. A thin, jagged line stretched from horizon to horizon, bright white light leaking through it, like something behind the sky pressing outward. People stepped out of their cars, phones lifted, screams, and then gravity shifted, just slightly, enough to make my stomach drop. The white line widened, and I saw layers, like stacked versions of the city misaligned behind the tear. Buildings overlapping, roads not matching, different weather conditions visible in slivers. One version of the city was raining, one was night, one looked partially collapsed. It lasted maybe 10 seconds, maybe less. Then blackout, total, no transition, no fade, just absence. I woke up at 2:16 p.m. in the same Bolt ride, traffic moving normally, sky intact. My driver glanced at me in the rearview mirror. "You okay?" "What happened?" I asked. "What do you mean?" "The sky." He laughed nervously. "Madam, the sky is there." Everything was normal, except my phone. It had a crack across the screen, diagonal, as if pressure had warped it. I don't drop my phone. And my call log showed a 12-second outgoing call to an unknown number at 2:15 p.m. I didn't make that call. I checked social media, nothing. No trending topic, no panic, no footage, no mention. I convinced myself it was a hallucination, stress, heat, until 3 days later. I was at a bookstore cafe, quiet, air-conditioned, trying to feel grounded. The man across from me kept staring, not in a threatening way, in a searching way. Finally, he stood and approached my table. "You saw it too," he said. I froze. Saw what? The sky. The room felt smaller. Be specific. The tear, the light, the overlapping city. My hands started shaking. How do you... I was at the National Mosque when it happened. Everyone dropped to the ground. "But they don't remember?" I whispered. "No." He sat down slowly. "My name is Ibrahim." We compared details. Time, 2:14 p.m. Sound, tearing. Visual, layered cityscapes. Blackout, immediate. Reset, seamless. Even the 12-second discrepancy, he had it too. A missing 12 seconds in his phone logs. And one more thing. "I tried to run," he said quietly. "During it, what happened?" I moved. Moved how? Everything else was frozen, like time stopped, but I wasn't. My heart skipped. "What did you see?" He hesitated. Behind the tear, there was something stabilizing it. "What do you mean?" "Like scaffolding, structures holding the sky in place." He leaned closer, and they were collapsing. That was the first time I considered it. It wasn't a random glitch. It was a failed rollback. Something catastrophic occurred. The system attempted to revert and mostly succeeded, but not completely, because two of us remember. And if two remember, there may be more. We began searching. Online forums, cryptic posts, anonymous comments referencing white fissures. Most were deleted within hours, threads disappearing, accounts deactivated, like containment. Then something strange started happening. Whenever Ibrahim and I met to discuss it, the environment destabilized, lights flickering, conversations around us repeating half phrases, people freezing for fractions of seconds, the hum returning, stronger each time, as if proximity between retained memories was increasing system strain. Last night, it escalated. We met at Millennium Park, open space, less interference. At exactly 2:14 p.m., without planning it, the air shifted. That same tearing sound began faintly. My chest tightened. Ibrahim grabbed my arm. "Do you hear it?" "Yes." The sky looked normal, but there was a distortion, like heat waves bending light. We both stared upward, and then, for half a second, the line appeared again, thin, white, flickering, not fully forming, as if trying or failing. Then it vanished. The hum roared in my ears. The park froze. Every person mid-motion, birds suspended mid-flight, leaves hanging still in the air, except us and something else. Above us, the sky didn't tear. It thinned, and through it, I saw structure, framework, geometric lattices stretching across the atmosphere, cracked, fractured, failing. Ibrahim whispered, "It's breaking." Then movement resumed violently, people stumbling mid-step, birds flapping erratically, a child crying, no one reacting to what just happened, except us. Here's what's worse. We compared memories again today, and they're diverging. He remembers the tear being wider. I remember more light. He remembers hearing voices from beyond it. I don't. Our retained data is desynchronizing, which means the rollback is still running, still correcting, still attempting to reconcile our awareness. Tell me something. Have you ever felt like something enormous almost happened, but didn't? Like the world narrowly avoided catastrophe you can't quite define? What if it didn't avoid it? What if it failed and then rewrote it? And what if a few of us slipped through the correction? If the system is failing, large-scale patches will become unstable, visible. The sky won't hold forever. The scaffolding won't stabilize. And when it tears again, it might not close. Ibrahim just texted me. 2 words. It's widening. The time? 2:14 p.m. Again. And outside my window, there's a line in the sky. Thin, white, flickering, longer than before. And this time, the hum isn't fading, it's building. My name is Collins Chinedu. I didn't notice the failure in the world. I noticed it in my past. At first, it was small, a childhood memory shifting slightly. You know how memory works. It softens, distorts, fills gaps. I've read about reconstructive recall. I understand neural plasticity. This wasn't that. This was version control. The first alteration involved my brother. I clearly remember him breaking his arm when we were children. I was there. I pushed him during an argument. He fell from the mango tree in our yard. I remember the guilt, the hospital smell, the white cast signed by our cousins. Last week during dinner, I mentioned it. "Do you still feel pain when it rains?" I asked him. He looked confused. "From what?" "Your arm." "I've never broken a bone." I laughed. Then I stopped. Because my mother nodded. "He's right. That never happened." It did. It absolutely did. I can describe the exact shade of blue marker I used to write "sorry" on his cast. Except there are no photos, no hospital bills, no scar. I checked old family albums. There are images from that year, but in every picture where I remember his cast, his arm is normal, uninjured, perfect. I told myself it was false memory syndrome until the second patch. I have always hated dogs since childhood because one attacked me, bit my thigh, left a jagged scar. The scar is still there, or at least it was. 3 days ago, I noticed it looked smoother, faded. I dismissed it, but that night I dreamt something strange. Not a normal dream, more like a loading screen. Black background, white text, brief, precise. Incident 2003-04, dog attack. Removed, low narrative relevance, scar data cleanup in progress. I woke up sweating, immediately checked my thigh. The scar was gone, not faded, gone, perfect skin. I drove to my childhood neighborhood the next day. The house where it happened still stands. I asked the elderly neighbor who witnessed the attack, "Do you remember when that stray dog bit me?" She looked at me with concern. "Chinedu, you are always afraid of dogs, but nothing ever happened to you." She said it gently, like I was confused. That's when the realization struck. These aren't memory distortions. They are retroactive edits, and they are being applied inconsistently. Because I still remember the pain. I still remember the blood, the scream. Why do I remember deleted content? I started documenting discrepancies. I wrote a timeline of my life. Then I cross-referenced it with other people's recollections. Discrepancies appeared, not everywhere, only in emotionally significant events, high-impact memories, moments that shaped identity. It's as if something is optimizing the storyline, reducing complexity, streamlining trauma, removing unnecessary branches. But the edits are sloppy, incomplete, because I retain memory of prior versions, and sometimes the patches happen in real time. Last night, I was telling a friend about my first heartbreak. Her name was Ada, university, second year. She left without explanation. It shaped my distrust in relationships for years. I was mid-sentence, and that's why I never fully. The home started. Low, growing. My friend's face blurred slightly. My head felt heavy, like pressure behind my eyes. Then a flash, not visual, cognitive, like files rearranging. Suddenly, I couldn't remember her last name. I tried to say it. Nothing. Blank. I checked my phone for old messages. There were none. Photos, gone. University records, no Ada in my department that year. I called an old classmate. "Do you remember Ada?" "Which Ada?" "The one I dated, economics department." Silence. "Chinedu, you didn't date anyone in second year. You were single." My chest tightened. No, I wasn't. I can still picture her face, except it's blurry now, like an image losing resolution.
And the more I try to focus, the more it dissolves. This isn't random deletion, it's restructuring. Here's what terrifies me. The edits are accelerating. Earlier today, I found an old journal from 2015. In it, I wrote about wanting to move abroad, about applying for jobs in Canada. That never happened. I have no memory of writing those entries. The handwriting is mine, the ink is aged, but the memory, absent. It's not just deletions, it's insertions, new backstory, new motivations, new personality traits. Which version is original? Which one is current build? I conducted an experiment. I wrote something emotionally charged on a sheet of paper. I regret pushing my brother. Then I folded it and placed it in a locked drawer. If the event was removed, would the regret be removed too? Would the system reconcile the inconsistency? Tonight, I opened the drawer. The paper was there, unfolded. It now read, "I am grateful for my brother." Different sentence, different emotional tone, same handwriting, same ink. The paper itself had been patched. And that's when I understood. This isn't memory manipulation, it's narrative optimization. Reality is being streamlined, but the system is unstable because it's leaving residual data, ghost memories, phantom scars, fragments of overwritten lives. And I'm accumulating them. My head feels crowded, multiple versions of events overlapping. Sometimes I see two outcomes of the same day. Sometimes I remember conversations that never occurred. And sometimes I anticipate a patch before it happens. Like now. The hum is rising. I feel pressure behind my eyes. Something is about to change. I need to document this, because if I don't, if this gets optimized, if this becomes a cleaner version, then I might lose the part of me that noticed. Tell me something. Have you ever remembered something with absolute certainty, only to find the world disagrees? Have you ever felt like your personality shifted overnight, like preferences rewrote themselves? What if those aren't mood changes? What if they are updates? The hum is louder. There's a ringing in my ears. I feel lighter, like something heavy just got removed. Wait, what was I writing about? I was documenting something important, something about... I can't remember again. But there's a sheet of paper on my desk. It says, "Stop investigating." I don't remember writing that too, but it's in my handwriting. And underneath, in smaller letters, "Version stabilized." The hum just stopped. And I think I just lost something. I don't know what, but it feels important. If you're listening, if you still remember, write things down. Because when the system fails, it doesn't crash, it patches. And one day, you might wake up optimized.
Listen carefully, not to me, to your room. Is there a hum? It may be faint. It may feel like electricity in the walls or pressure behind your ears. That isn't ambience, that's strain. Tonight, you heard 6 fractures, sentences looping, crowds freezing, memories patched, skies tearing, people deleted, cities unrendered. These are not isolated incidents, they are cascading failures. When a system destabilizes, it doesn't collapse everywhere at once. It sheds load. It removes complexity. It simplifies. Have you noticed anything missing lately? A shop that used to be on your street, a classmate you can't quite place, a memory that feels slightly blurred at the edges. Don't dismiss it too quickly. When continuity fails, the correction is subtle. Conversations replay, records adjust, gaps seal. And most people never know something was removed. But you're still here, still listening, still noticing. That makes you computationally expensive. Awareness increases instability. Observation increases load, and load triggers optimization. If the system is failing, it will prioritize stabilization. And stabilization means reduction. Reduction means less, fewer, simpler. Look at your hands. Are they perfectly steady, or did they lag for half a second just now? Did this sentence feel slightly familiar, like you've heard it before? If this episode repeats, if you feel like you've listened to it already, pay attention to what's different, because differences indicate desynchronization, and desynchronization indicates structural collapse. Right now, somewhere, a building just flickered, a record just erased, a person just became background data. You didn't hear it, you didn't see it, but something thinned. The hum is rising. You might not notice it consciously, but your body does. That slight pressure in your skull, that micro delay when you blink, that hesitation before sound returns to a quiet room. Count backward from 5, 5, 4, 3. Did it skip, or did it feel continuous? Be honest, because if it skipped, even slightly, then you're not fully synchronized. And if you're not fully synchronized, you may already be partially unrendered. If tomorrow something feels lighter, a street emptier, a skyline smaller, a contact missing, don't panic. Panic increases load. Load increases correction. Correction increases deletion. Instead, observe quietly, because the system struggles most with quiet observers. And if it is failing, if the lattice above is cracking, then eventually there will be no rollback, no patch, no optimization, only the final frame. And when that frame drops, there won't be silence, there will be... Did you hear that? That wasn't part of the script. Stay still, stay dim, stay aware. Because if you can still hear this, if you can still remember these words, then for now, you are still rendered. But the hum is getting louder, and something just flickered behind you. Until the next failure, keep your lights low, keep your memory anchored, and if a building vanishes tomorrow, count how many remain, because one day you might count and realize you're the only one left to render.
You've been listening to Mr. Haunting Whispers, where every truth leaves a scar. If the story unsettled you, good. That means you were listening. Subscribe and stay close to the dark, because the next whisper might be for you.